Hello everyone, welcome to the banks of the river Brahmaputra. I have come to Assam, that is from Mangalore to Assam for Ambubachi Mela. And while going to Kamakhya temple, I found a beautiful temple called as Sukreshwara Linga. And this Sukreshwara temple has a very beautiful bank under the Sukreshwara Ghat. And here we can see many people doing their final rites, that is they do Pitru Tarpan, ancestral rites. They pour their ancestral ashes in this river to get rid of any kind of Pitru dosha. And you can see this is a humongous river which starts from the Tibet. In Tibet it's called as Yarlung Shangpo, and it enters the Arunachal Pradesh with the name Siang. Then it enters the Assam with the name Brahmaputra, and it covers the Umananda Island. Here is where Shiva meditated after he lost his dear wife Sati. That is when Sati jumped in the Daksha Yagya. Shiva felt very sad and he started doing Tandav. Then Vishnu, using his Sudarshana Chakra, he ensured that Shiva stops his Tandav. And when he sent his Sudarshana Chakra, one of the Sati's parts, that is of Yoni, fell in the Kamakhya temple. And then after that, Shiva renounced himself from all the worldly matters. Then he meditated in this island called as Umananda Island. Here in Umananda Island, to bring Shiva back to the samsara, Kamadev tried to throw his arrows at him. And Shiva, with his third eye, extinguished Kamadev. And Kamadev got turned into ashes. And that's why that island, Umananda Island, is called as Mountain of Ashes or Bhasmachala. So this Brahmaputra river covers this Bhasmachala mountain. The water comes right from the Himalayas, that is Kailasa Manasarovar region. If you observe this water, when you sprinkle, it has vortex energy. It makes you vibrate. It makes your kundalini churn. Attached to the river is the Sukreshwara Linga. So here there are two temples called Sukreshwara temple and Janardhana temple. Both are around 1,000 years old, and here Shukracharya meditated in order to please Shiva. That is, Shukracharya wanted the boon of Mrita Sanjeevani. That is, Mrita Sanjeevani means reviving the dead, especially the Asuras. So Shukracharya was the teacher of Asuras and he revived them whenever they asked for help. That is why here he got the boon from Lord Shiva himself. And it's called as Umananda because after Parvati came into the life of Shiva through her devotion, Shiva was pleased by her austerity, and then he created an island for her to give her the bliss. And that's why it's called as Umananda, Uma plus Ananda. That is, Uma is the name of Parvati and Ananda means bliss. So that way, this Brahmaputra river with the Umananda Island becomes very powerful kshetra. This is at the southern region of the Brahmaputra river. And here you can see there are ferry services towards the Umananda temple. Here Shukracharya got the boon of Mrita Sanjeevani, and that's why the name of the linga is called as Kamana Linga. Whatever kama, that is desires you have, this linga will fulfill. And this is one of the largest linga of India. And this linga is sometimes referred as Jyotirlinga also by the local traditions. The reason this river is powerful is because it is the son of Brahma. So long time ago, there was a rishi called as Shantanu. Shantanu Rishi and Amogha Devi didn't have children. Amogha Devi was the consort of Rishi Shantanu, and they didn't have a child, and that's why both prayed to Brahma. Brahma got pleased by their devotion and he granted them with the child. But the twist was, this child was not a normal human child. Brahma's boon was in the form of a magical child in the form of water. So Shantanu and Amogha Devi got this son in the form of water. Shantanu was so happy that he has a son, but it was in the form of water, and that's why he tried to secure his son in the mountains of Kailasa Parvata. So he told his son, you have to stay within the range of Kailasa Parvata. Many people will come to cleanse themselves. And in the Dwapara Yuga, what happened was Parashurama's father, that is Jamadagni, told Parashurama to kill his own mother because of her disloyalty. That is, Parashurama's mother Renuka Devi seemed to be disloyal towards her husband. She got tempted by a king named as Chitraratha. And that's why Jamadagni told his sons to kill their own mothers. Only Parashurama agreed because Parashurama knew that Jamadagni had the power to revive his wife Renuka Devi. So that's why Parashurama killed his own mother, and Jamadagni got pleased and he revived his wife or Parashurama's mother, and that way his anger got dissolved. But the problem was Parashurama was still feeling guilty of killing his own mother, and that's why he came to the Kailasa Parvata and he bathed in the Brahmakunda. It was called as Brahmakunda because it was a lake before it became Brahmaputra. That is, Brahmaputra is the name of the river, but before the river it was Brahmakund in the Kailasa Parvata. So Parashurama, feeling very auspicious after bathing in Brahmakund, he thought, why not this auspicious water flow all over Bharat? And that's why Parashurama threw his axe. A huge part of the mountain collapsed and the river started flowing all over India. First it entered the Arunachal Pradesh, then it entered Assam as Brahmaputra, and then it flowed to the Bangladesh as Jamuna, then it joined the Ganga and became Padma, and finally Meghana in the Bay of Bengal. So this way Brahmaputra flowed all over India and it is still blessing people. Many people come here to fulfill their ancestral rites, that is by pouring their ancestral ashes in this river so that they get mukti. This river has a lot of vortex energy which you guys have to visit in order to experience. The banks of the river are attached to the Sukreshwara temple. So you guys can visit here in order to get rid of any kind of Pitru dosha. Now let us go and see the Sukreshwara temple along with the Janardhana Devalaya.